Like what you do, and then you will do your best. Katherine Johnson, NASA mathematician. Some say I was the woman who was a computer. My top 5 life events. I helped do math for sending many missions to space during the Great Space Race, and notably for helping Apollo 11, Freedom 7, and sending the first man into orbit get into space. I earned a Presidential Medal of Freedom. I influenced the fact that black women can be as smart or smarter than white men. I was one of the first black students to attend West Virginia's graduate schools. I was a notably smart person. I graduated from college with degrees in math and French at age 18. J. Just died in 2020. O. Overcame the fact that I was a black girl by showing the world how smart I was. H. Helped many people get to space safely through my math. N. NASA hired me for a human computer in 1953 for my skill with math. S. I helped NASA in the Great Space Race. O. Obama awarded me the Presidential Medal of Freedom. N. NASA is where I worked for 63 years. My contributions to society consist of helping astronauts get to space, being one of the first black students to attend West Virginia's graduate school before becoming a NASA mathematician, and showing that black women can be just as smart, maybe even smarter, than white men. I am remembered and honored as a mathematician for NASA, helping several astronauts get to space safely. I was also awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, one of the highest awards. If I were never born, John Glenn might not have been the astronaut to go into orbit. Glenn didn't trust the computers that did the math for the mission. He wouldn't go on the mission if I didn't check the math. You can be any race or any gender, but you can still be a genius. I know this because I was black and a girl. That's 2 hills. I climbed and conquered those hills and showed the world that anyone can be great no matter who you are. You can be any race or any gender, but you can still be a genius.
I'm Dr. Macy Jemison, the first African American woman in space. My top 5 achievements. I was medical officer for the Peace Corps in West Africa. 2. I was in charge of medical care for the U.S. Embassy. 3. I pursued my dream of going to space even though I feared heights. 4. I became an environmental studies professor. 5. I graduated from high school at the age of 16. J. Joined NASA in 1987. E. Excel in science. M. Magnificently won the Essence of Science and Technology Award in 1988. I. Intelligently researched motion sickness and bone cells on my crew in space. S. Successfully worked as a general practitioner. O. Over the summer of 1994, I founded the camp The Earth We Share. N. Never gave up on my dream. When I am gone, I will be remembered as the first African American woman to travel to space and for my love of helping people. I help people by being a medical worker, which allowed me to save lives. I know that I have succeeded in reaching my dream, and I know that others will learn from what I did. I am Dr. May C. Jemison. From my research in May Jemison, I learned to never give up. May Jemison always worked hard and never gave up. For example, when she applied for NASA, she didn't get picked the first time, so she reapplied and was one of 15 to get picked out of 2,000 other people. She always worked hard. She worked hard when she was in charge of medical care for the U.S. Embassy, as a medical officer for the Peace Corps, and as an astronaut. Mae Jemison never let anything get in the way of her dream to be an astronaut, including her fear of heights. I learned because of Mae Jemison, you can do anything.
I am the Magnificent Bessie Coleman by Anna Miller. Top 5 list. I was the first African American to earn a pilot's license. I was also the first Native American to earn a pilot's license. I graduated from the American Aviation School even though others were against it. I was famous for making loop-the-loops and doing a figure 8 in the sky, which means making an 8 in the sky. Some nicknames I had were Brave Bessie, Queen Best, and the only race aviatrix in the world. Acrostic poem. B is for Bessie Coleman. I soared in the sky and was the first to do it. E. Even though I was turned down many times, I still came through to achieve my dream. S. Saved enough to go to the Colored Agricultural and Normal University. S is for speeches. I gave speeches and made films of myself flying to churches, schools, and theaters to get and save money. I. In early years, I had to do chores to earn enough money. E. Earned an international pilot's license on June 15, 1921. Remembered for. I will be remembered as a pioneer of women because I taught others what it means to be brave. I also inspired others to stand up for each other and their rights. For example, I never gave up and fought for what I believed was right for other African American people. If I were never born, that African Americans would have less of a chance to be a pilot. Lesson learned. I learned that you have to be strong and determined to be able to accomplish your dreams. Bessie Coleman had to be all these things in order to get a pilot's license and fulfill her dream. But this was especially hard for an African American woman. I also learned that you need to be brave and always do what you think is the right thing to do. Bessie Coleman was very brave when she stood up and fought for what she wanted and never quit. She just kept going and did the right thing for herself and others.
I am Kamala Harris, 49th Vice President of the United States.
Hi, my name is Kamala Harris, and I'm the first African American woman Vice President.
I'm Kamala Harris, first African American and Asian American Vice President of the United States.
5. First Black South Asian woman to become Attorney General of the State of California. First Black South Asian female Senator of California. First Black American to run for Vice President on a major party ticket. First Black South Asian Vice President of the United States. First female Vice President of the United States.
Here are some important facts about me. I have the privilege of being the first African American and Indian descent Vice President. I was previously one of the senators of California since 2017. One of my hobbies that I like to do is read novels. I went to high school in Montreal, Canada, and attended Howard University.
Howard University was the college I went to. Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated is my sorority. I'm ready 24/7. Recruited to the San Francisco District Attorney's Office. In 2003, I was elected District Attorney of San Francisco, California. I also sang in a choir when I was 7.
Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. H. Hardworking politician. A. Argued and worked hard for what I wanted. R. Risk taker with many firsts. R. Relentless in everything I do. I am opening up doors and breaking glass ceilings for minorities. S. Serving as the first Black South Asian female Vice President.
My impact on society is, as a district attorney of California, I was able to serve and protect communities by sending criminals to prison. The individuals that I prosecuted were in violation of the law, for example, gang violence and drug trafficking. With these people behind bars, our children, families, and communities are safer. Another impact that I had is becoming the first African American Indian descent female vice president. I have opened doors for little girls to have big dreams, hope, and pride in becoming what they want to be. I have created a foundation for young girls to feel equal and that they, too, can become great leaders, advocates, district attorneys, and politicians.
How I will be remembered. I will be remembered for being the first African American and Asian American Vice President of the United States, also for inspiring multiracial boys and girls around the world to follow their dreams. I always joked about how when I was a little girl, I was surrounded by these people fighting for this thing called justice. Thank you. I'm Kamala Harris.
How I will be remembered. I will be remembered as a hard-working woman that fought for my spot. I feel that when I leave my position as vice president, many more black girls will be inspired to earn their spot, follow their dreams, and believe in themselves. I hope that I inspire many more people to work hard for what they want. In the society we live in, it's hard to be a woman and have jobs that quote-unquote men have, but as women, we need to stand up and make a change. I am Kamala Harris.
Here is some lessons that I learned throughout my life. One lesson that I've learned is that it doesn't matter what the color of your skin is to be great. I also learned that women are just as powerful and knowledgeable as men. I appreciate the value of diversity, hard work, and dedication to change the world. Another lesson that I learned was even when people doubt you, you can still be big in life and make a difference. Kamala Harris taught me those things by becoming the first African American Indian descent vice president.
I am Lakin Alston, 5th grader at Thomas W. Holtzman. Lesson learned. Through my research of Kamala Harris, I learned to never give up. Before she was chosen to run for vice president, she ran for president. Due to finances, she was unable to continue her campaign for president. However, she knew you could always have another chance, so at this time, presidential candidate Joe Biden chose her as his running mate. When she was younger, she always wanted to make the world a better place. Facing racial discrimination all of her life, it was difficult for her because she was a multiracial woman. She knew that she had to rise above the discrimination, so she went to college, earned her bachelor's degree in political science. Now, as a vice president of the United States, Kamala Harris is thriving and living up to her dream because she never gave up. Thank you.
The lesson I learned. Throughout my research of Kamala Harris, I have learned to always reach for my dreams. Kamala would not be vice president if she just gave up and didn't work hard to reach her goals. Kamala Harris is successful because she always does what she loves and fights for what is right. Something else I learned is that people will always have an opinion about you and what you do, but you always need to know who you are and let no one take that away from you.
The first African American president, Barack Obama.
Top 5 most important things. 1. I became the first African American president. 2. In 2009, I won a Nobel Peace Prize. 3. In 2006, I won a Grammy for the Best Spoken Word from an audiobook, Dreams from My Father. 4. In 2008 and 2012, I got named Person of the Year. 5. I published 3 books named Dreams from My Father, The Audacity of Hope, and I sang A Letter to My Daughters.
Obama. O. Only saw my dad once after he left us. B. Born in Honolulu, Hawaii. A. After graduation, I worked as a civil rights lawyer. M. Mom remarried in 1965. A. African American president. Throughout my research about Barack Obama, the lesson I learned is to listen to others and accept their cultural differences. I also learned to treat others how you want to be treated.
The First Lady, Michelle Obama, the first Black First Lady.
Hi, my name is Michelle Obama. I am the first African American First Lady. I was born January 17, 1964 in Chicago, Illinois. My parents are Marion Robinson and Fraser Robinson III. I have an older brother named Craig Robinson.
My older brother, Craig, and I were mistaken for twins. I graduated from Ivy League school. I skipped second grade. I worked first as a lawyer, then in the private sector, and then as the writer. I am a former First Lady.
I graduated from Princeton University with honors and attended Harvard Law School. After Harvard, I became an associate attorney at a law firm. In 1992, I married Barack Obama, and we have 2 children named Malia and Sasha. In 2009, my husband became the 44th President of the United States of America, which makes me the first African American First Lady. As First Lady, I started the Let's Move program to get kids to exercise and get healthy. The M in my name represents how I am the mother to Malia and Sasha. The I in my name represents how I am intelligent because I attended both Princeton and Harvard. The C in my name represents how I can motivate the crowd with my speeches. The H in my name represents how I helped plant a vegetable garden at the White House. The E in my name represents how I am elegant and stylish. The L in my name represents my program called Let's Move for children to exercise. The other L in my name represents how I was a law associate focusing on marketing. And the last E in my name represent how I empower others through my leadership.
Michelle Obama, I will be remembered as the First Lady. I had a successful life and a happy family with my 2 daughters and my husband. I still have more time to live. I inspire people to be happy and never give up on their dreams. Soon you will get there. You just need to keep trying and be patient.
I have impacted an entire generation by becoming the first African American First Lady. I hope I have motivated others to be the best they can be and to know that they can do anything they set their mind to.
What I learned from Michelle Obama is that she was loving. That made me feel like loving is kindness. I don't realize that I'm being rude to my grandma. You have to give all your love before you lose the person. Michelle also made me believe in myself. Even if I fail at parts of my grade, at least I try my best and give it all I got. Soon I might be able to become successful.
One of the lessons that I grew up with was to always stay true to yourself and never let what someone else says distract you from your goals. And so when I hear about negative and false attacks, I really don't invest any energy in them because I know who I am. When they go low, I go high.
I am Frederick Douglass. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave.
Frederick Douglass, presented by Damori Mitchell.
This is my life in poetry. Freed by the help of my wife. Remembered by my passionate work to ensure that America would live up to equality and freedom someday. Excellent in not giving up and fighting for what is right. Determined to make sure everybody has basic human rights. Escaped from slavery at age 15. Ran the abolition civil rights movement in Massachusetts. If there is no struggle, there is no progress.
considered as one of the most brilliant, celebrated writers in the whole African American literary traditions. Killed by a very strong heart attack right after an important meeting about women's rights.
Frederick Douglass name poem. F. Freed other slaves and escaped with them. R. Ran a civil rights campaign. E. Escaped from slavery. D. Dared to go against his master and escaped. E. Established his own biography. R. Remembered with a statue memorial in Washington, D.C. I. Impartial living situations. C. Confident about his accomplishments. K. Known for the quote, knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave.
This is how I am remembered. If I were never born, women and African Americans may still struggle in life and not have certain rights. I, Frederick Douglass, will forever be remembered for my passionate work to ensure that America would live up to great expectations of equality and freedom.
As a slave in 1818, I am best to remember to successfully escape slavery and later fought fiercely to abolish slavery. He became a national leader in the abolitionist movement in Massachusetts and New York, and my writings were influential in my promoting anti-slavery. I am Frederick Douglass.
Lesson learned. While researching Frederick Douglass, I learned that you should not only fight for yourself, but never give up on yourself. Frederick Douglass had a hard time growing up. He was a slave, and of course that led to many hardships. At age 15, Frederick Douglass tried to escape slavery, but he was caught and beaten. But Frederick was a strong-willed person who wouldn't give up, so he had all the courage he needed and managed to escape. Frederick didn't allow his pastimes to get in the way. He became a famous leader in the abolition movement. I admire that Frederick also fought for something he wasn't, because it shows that he would fight for anybody who he thought should have certain rights. He fought for the women's rights and demanded that it would come to a change. I am Frederick Douglass.
Lessons learned. I learned many lessons from Frederick Douglass during his time on Earth. He learned to never give up because when he tried to escape slavery, he got caught, but the second time he kept trying and he finally escaped. That showed me to never give up on what I believe is right. Another lesson I learned from him was to fight for what's right. Frederick Douglass fought for black civil rights, and look where that got us. No more slavery.
Throughout my history on Frederick Douglass, I learned it is not an option to give up. Also to follow your dreams to the end, even through tough times. Frederick followed his dreams to the end. He became a leader in the abolitionist movement, which sought to the end the practice slavery before and the Civil War.
Hello, I'm Ida B. Wells, and I am a civil rights activist. I was born on July 16, 1862. My mom and infant brother died because of yellow fever in 1876. I moved to Memphis in the 1880s when I was 16. I was forced to move to a smoke cart because of my skin color. I made a pamphlet called Southern Horrors, Lynch Laws in All Its Phases. I for intelligent because she helped people fight for their rights. D for dominant because she didn't need anyone to tell her what to do or control her. A, amazing because she helped the community in so many ways. My impact on society. I impacted society because I fought for equal rights and women's rights. How I will be remembered in society is, I will be remembered as a civil rights activist, a teacher, a journalist, a human rights defender, a sociologist, and as a mother. How my impact helps society is, after I documented the lynchings of African Americans, everyone started to realize things were wrong and hateful. On my journey for African American rights started to get more recognition and more people to fight for rights along with me.
Luther King Jr. I have a dream.
Is Martin Luther King Jr.
Top 5 most important things. My birth name was Michael, not Martin. I entered Morehouse College at the age of 15. My first major campaign was Montgomery bus boycott. I was imprisoned nearly 30 times. I escaped an assassination attempt a decade before my death.
Here are some top 5 things that has happened in my life. I won a Nobel Peace Prize. I have a holiday named after me. I was often referred to MLK. I have over 730 streets that are named after me. And I taught people to protest non-violently.
Poem. Killed at 6:01 p.m. on April 4th, 1968. Is best known for leading the Montgomery bus boycott. Nobel Peace Prize received in 1964 for his nonviolent campaign against racism. Graduated from school skipping both 9th and 12th grade. Remember,
I also like to write and walk. I never lost my bravery. I have never doubted myself. And I have gave lots of love to my family. Remember,
in 1955, he was recruited to serve as a leader for the Montgomery bus boycott. As a result, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that racial segregation in transportation was unconstitutional. In 1964, at the age of 35, Dr. King became the youngest person to ever win the Nobel Peace Prize in the same year. Congress passed the Civil Rights Act. Dr. King was also instrumental in 1963 March on Washington, in which more than 250,000 people demonstrated in the nation's capital. In 1994, Congress designated the Martin Luther King Jr. federal holiday as a national day of service, as a way to honor Dr. King's tireless efforts in the pursuit of social justice, as well to embrace his teachings on community service. The MLK Day of Service urges people of all ages and walks off to life to make it a day on, not a day off.
through my research of Martin Luther King Jr., I have learned to never give up and to face my fears. Even though some people doubted Martin, that never stopped him from being a good, helpful person. I have also learned if you want to accomplish something, work hard and never give up. And that was my PowerPoint of Martin Luther King. I hope you enjoyed it, and it was fun reading to you guys. Have a good day. Bye.
Lessons learned. The lesson I learned was to always stand up for people and fight for what is right. MLK was a leader who fought for rights for black people in the civil rights movement. If Martin Luther King Jr. was never born, black people would not be able to vote, and schools and restaurants would still be segregated. Without him, I do not think that black and white people would be treated as equals.
Ella Baker, an activist that changed lives. Give people light and they will find the way. Life education and important facts. I was born in Norfolk, Virginia on December 13, 1903, and grew up in rural North Carolina. I was close to my grandmother, a former slave, who told me many stories about her life, including a whipping she had received at the hands of her owner. I attended Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina, and graduating class valedictorian in 1927. My nickname is Fundy. In 1952, I became the director of New York chapter NACP. I became the SNCC and the MFDP. I left the SCLC, but I remained in the SCNN. Brought colored and white people together, American community organizer and political activist, had with big dreams, extroverted. I thrived on communication and community, role in the civil rights movement. Impacted society. I'll be remembered as an activist. I'll also be remembered for the work I have done, how determined I was to help people. I helped colored and white people along. Lesson learned. What I learned from Ella Josephine Baker is that things may be tough, but it always pays off to work hard. Keep doing what you love and don't let anyone tell you you're not worth it. Like she said, strong people don't need strong leaders. Learning about her made me work harder.
Coretta Scott King, brave, resilient, fighting for what's right. First 5 facts. I made speeches about civil rights. I led goodwill missions to many countries. I carried the nonviolence message to my dream. I spoke at many histories, massive peace and justice rallies. I fought for women's rights. S. Singer about civil rights and peace. C. Courageous woman who helped her husband. Legacy alive. O. Opened up buildings for civil rights. T. Told people to spread the nonviolence message. T. Tireless dedication to special issues and injustice. How am I being remembered? I am remembered by the speeches I've given at massive rallies, making civil rights movements, a singer, and the wife of Martin Luther King Jr. Lesson learned. Throughout my research of Coretta Scott King, I learned to never give up on what you feel is right, even when it's hard. Coretta Scott King helped us through things we have now when they didn't have it back then. So the lesson I've learned is to never give up on what you feel is right, even if it's hard.
Rosa Parks, The Journey to Equality. Rosa Parks, The Journey to Equality.
I am regarded as the mother of the civil rights movement. I was inducted into Michigan's Women's Hall of Fame. I helped in organizing the defense of the Scottsboro Boys. I co-funded the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute for Self-Development.
Rosa Parks' acrostic poem. P stands for persevered for equality. A stands for acted against segregation. R stands for racial equality. K stands for keep fighting for justice. And S stands for stands up for what's right.
Why she is remembered. Rosa Parks is remembered for refusing to give up her seat and being the mother of the civil rights movement.
I will be remembered for not only standing up for people, but helping reach equality for Black people and changed how people think about equality.
Lesson learned. Through my research of Rosa Parks, I learned that things get challenging, but don't give up. If things get hard, just fight it and know that you can do it.
My name is Phyllis Wheatley. Some people think of me as the young African-American poet that changed the world, but I'll let you decide. I learned to read and write in fluent English in about a year. At age 12, I wrote and published my first poem. At age 18, I already published a book, and during the American Revolution, I wrote a poem to George Washington too. I wasn't allowed to write or even study literature at all as an African American woman, but I wrote 55 poems in all. I wrote a poem to George Washington concerning the Revolution. My book in 1773 was published. I had to explain to the court that I wrote my own poems. At age 12, I wrote my first poem. I tried to sell my book, but the buyer refused because I was an African American. I lived to the age of around 31 to 33 and died in 1784. I exceptionally became the first African American to have my work published. And as a young child, I was kidnapped from Africa and sent to Boston, Massachusetts. I will be remembered as the first African American to write a book. Even at a very young age, I knew that my passion was to write. My legacy inspired and continues to inspire African Americans everywhere that you can be any age to follow your dreams. My name is Phyllis Wheatley. From my research of Phyllis Wheatley, I learned that whatever the circumstance, you can overcome and follow your dreams. Even though she was a slave, she continued many pieces of poetry and studied literature in many years throughout her life. She proved that it's possible to make a difference by being brave enough to do what you love to do, despite of what others around you say or think.
Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou, a true African American legend.
Maya Angelou, the legendary author.
5 interesting facts about Maya Angelou. 1. I had a friendship between activists Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. 2. I recited the poem on the post of mourning at former President Bill Clinton's inauguration. I also recited the poem The Gift outright at former President John F. Kennedy's inauguration. 3. During World War II, when I was 14, I got a scholarship to study acting and dancing at the California Labor School. 4. I helped activist Malcolm X make the Organization of African American Unity. And 5. When I was at the California Labor School, I became the first African American cable car conductor. Maya Angelou acrostic poem. A is for an inspiration to African American women. N is for never gave up on her dreams. G is for gave her best. E is for earned all her respect. L is for loved what she did in her field. O is for offered help to people in need. And U is for understood people's struggle.
How will you remember Maya Angelou?
I was the first African American woman to ever poetry at a presidential inauguration. I recited on the Post of the Morning at Bill Clinton's inauguration in 1993. In 2010, I received the Presidential Medal of Freedom by our 44th President, Barack Obama. I am Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou, a voice for her people. Maya Angelou had many talents from being a dancer, singer, actress, and director. She will be most remembered for her poetry and storytelling. Her poems and stories will be remembered and studied for years to come. Most importantly, she was a civil rights activist who stood up to injustice in our country. Her talents were recognized with many rewards. Lessons I learned from Maya Angelou. While learning about Maya Angelou, I learned that I should never give up. Whenever Maya Angelou faced a challenge in her life, she never let that bother her. Instead, she kept pushing forward to achieve her goals. Maya Angelou had to work in a mostly male-dominated field, and I can understand how that can be hard. And she had to work as a black woman, which could have made it even harder.
I am Amanda Gorman, artist, poet, woman. Did you know? I was chosen as the Youth Poet Laureate of Los Angeles in 2014 at 16 years old. I was also the first to receive that honor. I am a stunning example of persevering in the face of a challenge in spite of a speech impediment. I became a good public speaker. Maya Angelou is one of my biggest inspirations, and I followed her in her footsteps by performing at the presidential inauguration. In 2016, I founded a nonprofit organization called One Pen, One Page. Its mission is to empower youth to use their voices and help eliminate inequality through education. Amanda Gorman. A dream of running for president in 2036. M. Magnificent poet and artist. A. Always focused on issues of oppression, feminism, race, and marginalization. N. Named one of Glamour magazine's College Woman of the Year. D. Dandelion wine sparked my interest in writing. A. At 22 years old, I am the youngest known inaugural poet. My legacy. I am young and still have a lot of life to live. I will continue to accomplish things throughout my life. As of right now, I will be remembered as the youngest poet to deliver the inauguration poem. I am Amanda Gorman. Lesson learned. Through my research of Amanda Gorman, I learned how to never give up on something difficult and always try my best at everything. Amanda also taught me that when there is something in your life that you are passionate about, you can do it. Amanda was passionate about poetry and overcame her speech and auditory processing disorder to become the great poet that we got to witness at the inauguration of President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris.
Alice Walker, famous novelist. Top 5 list. Became a novelist in 1968. First Black African American to win the Pulitzer Prize. Wanted to be involved with the civil rights movement. Shot with a BB gun at the age of 8. Became a social worker. How I will be remembered. I will be remembered for being the first Black African American woman to win the Pulitzer Prize and a Black African American to become a novelist. Lesson learned. My lesson learned from Alice Walker is that it doesn't always take a suit for a job. Some jobs need skirts. Because if Alice Walker can become a Black African American woman novelist and win the Pulitzer Prize, so can I.
I am Kara Walker, African American artist. I am known for creating black and white silhouette works that show themes of African
American racial identity. My work draws heavily on traditions of storytelling. My images are really about racism in the present and social and economic inequalities that I believe are dividing America. In 1997, when I was 28, I was the youngest people to earn a MacArthur Fellowship. My work appeared on the cover of musician Arto Lindsay recording Salt in 2004. Kara Walker, W, was listed among Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in the world, artists and entertainers in 2007. A professor of the visual arts in the MFA program at Columbia University. L, luckily in 2015, began a 5-year term as Tepper Chair in the Visual Arts at Rutgers Manson Gross School of the Arts. K, knowing that I'm still in mid-career, I continue to work steadily. E, accidentally became a member of the American Academy of Arts and Letters. R, relies on human and viewer interaction when displaying my work. Remember me. I will be remembered as an inspirational African-American artist whose work explored race, gender, and identity. I am Kara Walker. From my research about Kara Walker, I learned many of the good things she did as a female African-American artist. I know she will never stop making art and never give up on her dream of being an amazing artist. I learned that if you follow your dreams at a young age and keep practicing, you will succeed. Kara Walker knew she wanted to be an artist at the age of 3, and she kept working hard to reach her goal. I also learned that you can inspire others through your hard work and success. Kara Walker has inspired many people to do amazing artwork and will continue to inspire people through her art. These are the lessons I learned about researching Kara Walker.
Hi, I'm Frank Ringgold. I'm an American painter. Okay, this is... I created awareness of my civil rights through my art painting and posters. I did quilts that focused on African American life and struggles. I was active in the civil rights movement. I wrote books educating people about their rights. I taught visual arts.
Amy Sherald, a woman with an imagination that bends the rules of the temporal world. Who I am. I am the first African-American woman to complete a presidential portrait, which was of First Lady Michelle Obama. I helped organize and install the international exhibitions in Central and South America. I received the first prize in 2016 Alwyn Bridge River Portrait Competition for the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. I held exhibition at Montclair Mitchell in 2016. I switched majors in my junior year of college to focus on art. S, saw something special in every one of my models. H, hoped not to go broke majoring in art. E, excellently earned my MFA from Maryland Institution College of Art. R, regally made many portraits. A, always searching for new ways to present great tones. L, learned to forget about the past and think about the future. D, daughter of a dentist. Lesson learned. From what I found out about Amy Sherald, I learned to follow our own passion with anything we do. Amy Sherald followed her passion for art even when her parents disapproved of it. I also learned that it is not bad to take risks. Amy Sherald took the risk of being an artist that could possibly not make enough money to take care of herself. In the end, that risk paid off and she became a great artist. Those are some of the things I learned from Amy Sherald.
George Washington Carver, the Peanut Man.
chemists ever. The Peanut Master, George Washington Carver.
Hello there, my name is George Washington Carver, also known as Peanut Man, and I was an African-American agriculture scientist.
5 facts. Number 1. I was known as the Peanut Man for finding 300 uses for the peanut while it wasn't even recognized as a crop. Number 2. I became the leader of the agricultural department of the Black Tuskegee Institute. Number 3. I saved the cotton industry in the South by showing 300 ways to use sweet potatoes and peanuts. Number 4. I was asked by Stalin, Theodore Roosevelt, and many others for my agricultural device. And finally, number 5. I had a big interest in the arts and nature as a child and was homeschooled until 12 to 10 years.
About me. I was born into slavery and was kidnapped and taken away from my parents just a couple weeks after I was born. I was also denied by many schools due to my skin color. I received both a bachelor's degree and a Master of Science degree in agriculture science. I created many things we use today, such as peanuts, soybeans, sweet potatoes, and many more items. I have my own monument in Newton County, Missouri.
Top 5 list. Did you know Carver helped develop a vaccine for the polio virus? Also, did you know Carver figured out that cotton farms rotted crops? Another fact about Carver is that he was a very smart person, and even he had trouble getting into college because of his skin tone. The fourth fact about Carver is that he was a teacher for most of his life at Tuskegee Institute. The final fact about Carver is he found over 100 uses for the peanut.
Acrostic poem. C. Came from an enslaved family and worked hard to get where I was. A. Admired by some for my agricultural work. R. Raiders kidnapped me and my family when we were slaves. V. Very well known around the world for finding 300 uses for the peanut. E. Earned my degree at a college that didn't normally allow black students. R. Remembered as the Peanut Man, father of chemistry, and one of the greatest African Americans in the world.
Carver. C. Chemistry is awesome. A. A great teacher. R. Rights for slaves. V. Very smart. E. Education is important for everyone. R. Retry if you fail.
Impact on society. George Washington Carver contributed to society by finding ways to solve the agricultural crisis of cotton growers. He found 300 separate ways to use peanuts, and he also pushed them to grow sweet potatoes. Without him, peanut butter might have not been invented. He is the Peanut Man, after all. Though, he didn't invent it, he just made peanuts more popular and recognized as a crop. During World War II, he also worked to try and replace the dyes coming from Europe. He also donated all his life savings towards the Carver Research Foundation. I believe that without him, farmers around the world would depend on cotton, and that no one would ever think of eating a peanut for food. The cotton growers in the South might not do so well without the impact he left and the knowledge he gave to farmers. The G-Silk wagon was invented by him as a portable classroom just to teach farmers more about agriculture. He even played a role in racial politics, even if he didn't care for it.
How I will be remembered. I will be remembered as a very hard worker who never gave up when times were hard. I made many things people use today, such as peanuts and soybeans. These items helped farmers when they needed it. When I did tests and made mistakes, I never gave up. I kept going. Did you know I had my own monument called the George Washington Carver National Monument located in Newton County, Missouri? I hope I have inspired many children to always work hard and never give up. I am George Washington Carver.
Impact on society. George Washington Carver had a huge impact on society because he helped many people and fought for black education rights. A very important problem that Carver discovered was that cotton farms were rotting the crops, which led to farmers buying and buying new soil after the farming is done. He also helped the farmers by teaching them better ways to get crops and the best ways for them to farm them and the most efficient ways to farm them. He also fought for black rights in the South. Carver also found a ton of efficient ways to use the peanut. This led to him being famous for discovering ways to use the peanut. For example, he found 21 ways to make dessert with it and 29 candies. Those were the most important impacts that Carver had on society.
Lesson learned. While researching George Washington Carver, I learned that you should pursue your goals. Even if it might not seem possible then, you can work your way up slowly and achieve your goals. George Washington Carver used to be a slave in America. He and his family was kidnapped but was eventually found. The mother wasn't found until later, though. When slavery was abolished, he began to get an education after being homeschooled for a while. 10 miles. That's how long he had to go, just for school. Even with that, he worked hard and had an interest in the arts. When he went to college, most rejected him, but he still tried. In the end, with all that hard work, he became known around the nation. Who knows? Perhaps you could too.
Lesson learned. When researching about George Washington Carver, I learned that you should never give up and always try your best if you want to achieve something. When George wanted to go to school, he had been denied many times, but that didn't stop him. In fact, he kept searching for schools and not giving up. Even when he made mistakes in his tests, he never gave up. He kept trying until he found a solution. He wanted to achieve his goals. George Washington Carver was a hardworking man, and we should all be like him.
Lesson learned. One lesson I learned from George Washington Carver is to never give up. One reason it is never give up is because he wasn't getting the education he wanted, so he kept switching schools to get the educated he wanted until he got to college. When Carver was in college, he had trouble getting into the school he wanted, even though he was very smart. But even then, he didn't give up and he kept looking for colleges that would take him.
I am Marie Menard Daly, the first black woman to get my PhD. My life. I conducted a 7-year research program at the Rockefeller Institute of Medicine where I examined how proteins are constructed in the body. I worked as a physical science instructor at Howard University from 1947 to 1948. I enjoyed teaching medical students and was dedicated to increasing the number of minority students enrolled in the medical schools. I created a scholarship fund for African American science students at Queens College and spent time developing programs to increase the enrollment of minorities into medical school and graduate science program. I contributed my society by paving a way for black and minority students who felt as though they couldn't achieve their goals because of society being against them. Marie Menard Daly, M. Member of the prestigious Board of Governors of the New York Academy of Sciences for 2 years. A. American Heart Association investigator. R. Realized I was the first African American female to earn a PhD. In 1975, I was one of the 30 minority women scientists to attend a conference examining the challenges facing minority women in STEM fields. Allegedly designated as a career scientist by the Health Research Council of the City of New York. I will be forever remembered for my determination to get the education I knew I deserved and to defy all the odds put against me. I am Marie Menard Daly. Lesson learned. Through my research of Marie Menard Daly, I learned to be brave enough to do what I want to do most. Even if I think I can't make it, Marie taught me I can do anything I believe in. I know this because in my research I learned that Marie never gave up on her dream of becoming a scientist/doctor. She always wanted to help people while growing up, and I want to do the same. Marie Menard Daly made a huge impact on my life, and I am happy she did. I will now look up to her and realize I can do anything I believe in.
Benjamin Benneker. I was a great person. I accomplished a lot of things in my lifetime. Here are some things that I did. On the right is my almanac and a picture of me. Here are 5 interesting facts about me. 1. 1792 through 1797, I wrote my own almanac. In that, I put everything I've learned and passed it on to other people. 2. In 1753, I made the first wooden clock. I studied the parts of a pocket watch and then made the parts. I carved it into wood to fit around the watch, and it worked. It worked for over 50 years, but then gone missing. 3. At age 58, I started to study astronomy. I learned to predict solar and lunar eclipses. 4. I was self-taught since 2nd grade. Since my dad was a slave, I had to learn everything on my own. 5. I helped do work for Thomas Jefferson. I also helped plan for where Washington, D.C. is today. I was born in Ellicott Mills, Baltimore County, Maryland. I asked Thomas Jefferson in a letter to give African Americans the same rights under the Declaration of Independence. November 9, 1731, I was born. I never gave up on my dreams. Eventually, I made the first wooden clock at age 21 in 1753. I kept journals about astronomy and farming. Eclipses were something I started to study when I was 58. Remember that time when I wrote my own almanac from 1792 to 1797. I will be remembered for my almanac, my research on predicting solar and lunar eclipses, making the first wooden clock, and planning land for where Washington, D.C. is today. I am Benjamin Benneker. The lesson I learned from Benjamin Benneker is that I should never give up. I also learned that I should try to invent new things. As an example, Benjamin made the first wooden clock. I also was inspired by Benjamin Benneker because he also wrote his own almanac. Benjamin wrote a letter to Thomas Jefferson saying how African Americans should have the same rights as other people in the world. No matter what color your skin is, you can do anything.
Life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives.
Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson is an outstanding baseball player.
He led the Dodgers to the World Series 6 times. I experienced a lot of hatred during life and on the field, but that didn't stop me. I had to quit college because of financial difficulties. I was arrested because a bus driver thought I was sitting with a white woman even though she was a black woman. My actions inspired other black people to play white-only sports.
5 fun facts. In 1982, Jackie Robinson became the first Major League Baseball player to appear on a postage stamp. Jackie Robinson was 28 years old when he broke into the major leagues, yet he still won the Unified Rookie of the Year award. 50 years after he became the first modern black player, Major League Baseball chose his number as the first one to ever retire for every team. In 1949, Jackie Robinson led the National League in stolen bases and batting average, was named to his first All-Star game, helped the Brooklyn Dodgers win the pennant by 1 game, and was named the year's most valuable player. Jackie Robinson's older brother, Mac, finished second to G's owned in the 100-meter race in 1936 Berlin Olympics.
I was discriminated from whites in many ways. Arrested for sitting with a white woman even though she was black. Came to Hawaii after I quit college, but I still played sports. Kept working hard even though people shouted at me on the field. In the process of becoming the first African American to play Major League Baseball, I had to work harder in games because I couldn't practice. Even after all that, I got a plaque in the Hall of Fame.
The Arthur Robinson. Robinson broke the baseball color line. The O for Robinson, one of a kind. The B for Robinson, Brooklyn Dodgers. The I for Robinson, Illustrates. N for Robinson, Notorious. S for Robinson, Self-Assured. O for Robinson, Objective. N for Robinson again, National League baseball player.
The impact I made on society was when I broke the color barrier and played a white-only sport. Because of my actions back then, now you can see that there is no segregation in sports. I will be remembered as the first African American to play a white-only sport, and I set a league record for stealing home 19 times. I learned that even if you face hatred and discrimination, you can still achieve your dreams and shouldn't give up. Jackie Robinson did all these things to become a professional baseball player. It was difficult for Jackie because he was black. It wasn't impossible for whites to play, but blacks had no chance until Mr. Robinson showed that it takes effort and passion to achieve your dreams.
Never give up.
Hello, I'm Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest boxers known to man. If you have a dream to accomplish one day, listen to this quote. The best way to make your dreams come true is to wake up. That's a quote. If you have a dream, if you want to accomplish, and probably this will help you.
Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer of all.
Muhammad Ali, the Louisville Lip.
I am talking about top 5 things I accomplished in life. And what is, in 1960, after winning my 3 bouts, I defended Singing Pietrozai of Poland to win the light heavyweight Olympic gold medal. That's one thing I accomplished. My second one, after my Olympic victory, I was hailed as an American hero. I soon turned professional with the backing of the Louisville sponsoring group and continued overwhelming all my opponents in the ring. That was my second. My third is after winning gold at the 1960 Olympics, I took out British heavyweight champion Henry Cooper in 1963. Number 4. I then knocked out Sonny Liston in 1964 to become the heavyweight champion of the world. My last one. In 1975, I and Frazier locked horns again for their gride match in Cozumel City, Philippines. However, Frazier's trainer threw in the towel after the 14th round and giving the hard-fought victory to me. Those are my top 5 things I accomplished in life.
Muhammad Ali. I was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2005. I was the first man to win the heavyweight title 3 times. At 22 years old, I was the youngest boxer to unseat a regional heavyweight champion. I was included in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I was even honored with the Star of Hollywood Walk of Fame at 801 Hollywood Boulevard. I'm considered the greatest boxer in the world. The greatest boxer.
I completed a professional career record of 56 wins and including 37 knockouts and 5 losses.
Muhammad Ali's top 5. I had Irish roots in 2009. I visited my great-grandfather's hometown of Venus, Ireland. I met the family members of my grandfather. I was the second person to appear on the cover of Sports Illustrated 38 times. I had starred and sang in a Broadway musical titled Buck White. In 1963, I released a spoken word album called I Am the Greatest. I was the first boxer to appear on Wheaties cereal box.
Muhammad Ali, poem. Man's greatest boxer, undefeated, honest, accountable to win, Medal of Honor, magnificent athlete and determined.
Muhammad Ali. Martin trained Ali to fight at age 12. U.S. Supreme Court took his boxing license away for 3 years. Had 37 career knockouts. Ali was married 4 times. Muhammad was not original birth name. Made it on the Ring magazine 5 times as Fighter of the Year. Always talked a lot to his opponents about how great he was. Died on June 3rd, 2016 from Parkinson's disease.
Muhammad Ali. I would be remembered as the world's greatest boxer in history. I was awarded the Medal of Freedom in 2005. I was the first man to get heavyweight champion 3 times. I was included in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I was even honored with the Star of Hollywood Walk of Fame at 6801 Hollywood Boulevard.
Remembered. I will be remembered as a heavyweight boxing champion. I was a social justice advocate who helped people fight for freedom, justice, and equality. I remained in the spotlight after I retired from boxing. I traveled the world to make charitable appearances.
When I was researching my person, Muhammad Ali, I learned that never give up on your dream. If you do, you will never accomplish your dream. Ali had a dream to become a boxer one day. And one day his bike was stolen by someone, and a police officer named Martin changed his life. Martin told Ali to learn boxing with him. One day, Ali became one of the greatest boxers in the world. So, if you have a dream, always think that you can accomplish that dream, and don't never think that you can't or you can't accomplish that dream. Somebody can make you accomplish it, or you can do it. With that hard work put into your dream, will always make your dream come true.
Muhammad Ali, lesson learned. During my time researching Muhammad Ali, I learned he was the greatest boxer of all time. I learned that you should never give up because he never did, and that you should keep pushing forward, and you should follow your dreams and other things because he never gave up. He worked for his dreams.
Lesson learned. When doing my research of Muhammad Ali, I learned to have confidence in yourself. Ali was so confident that he always tried to talk to his opponents. He was never afraid and believed, and he would always win. I learned to have faith that things will work out and follow your dreams. When Muhammad was a kid, he told his friends that he was going to be a heavyweight champion of the world. No one believed him, and they would laugh because no one in his family boxed. He had faith that he was going to make this happen. I learned a lot from reading about Muhammad Ali. He had a lot of amazing qualities. I also learned that whatever you do in life, you should never give up. Muhammad Ali never gave up, and also after his Parkinson's disease got worse, he still managed to get out and stay in the spotlight and do charitable work.
Hi, I'm Kobe Bryant, also known as the Black Mamba.
Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba.
5 facts about me. I was drafted out of Lower Merion High School in Auburn, Pennsylvania, and was chosen by the Charlotte Hornets with the 13th pick of the 1996 draft. 2. I was traded to the Lakers thereafter and became the second youngest NBA player in history. 3. When 1996 to 97 season opened, I was chosen for the All-Star game in just my second season. 4. I played for the Lakers for 20 years and my number was 8 and 24. 5. My nickname was the Black Mamba and that is what I'll be remembered as.
I was drafted to the NBA out of high school. I played for the LA Lakers my entire professional career. I was the youngest player to start an NBA game. I was named after the Japanese steak, Kobe. I speak 3 different languages, Spanish, Italian, and English.
Kobe Bryant. This is what my name stands for. Beautiful soul, respectful to my teammates and family, young basketball player, always had good sportsmanship, never was rude or disrespectful to people, tried to help kids and their families improve their lives.
I will be remembered as a great basketball player as well as an awesome father to my kids and a good husband to my wife.
Kobe Bryant. I will be remembered as the Black Mamba, a person who had great sportsmanship and never fought or was rude to anyone for no reason. A person who helped young children and their families improve their lives. I have inspired many boys and girls and will be missed. I'm Kobe Bryant.
Through my research of Kobe Bean Bryant, I learned that you may accomplish anything as long as you try. It's better to try than give up.
What I've learned from researching Kobe Bryant is that he was very ambitious and he never gave up on his goals. Kobe had 2 kids and was still playing basketball, but he never gave up. He worked and he was a kind soul. That teaches me if you want something, it's not going to be handed to you. You have to work for it, just like Kobe did. He did his 20 years with satisfaction. He was happy. To be great takes hard work.
I, Sylvia Rideout Bishop, had a way with horses. I quit school at 17 to help out with stables with grooming and exercising horses. I was the first African American licensed woman to be a derby trainer. When I was 2 years old, I went on a pony ride that told me I want to work with horses. My last win before I died was in 2000. Whenever I got a chance to go to a stable, I would. And I would always have a blast. The S in my name stands for Society Changer. I was the first African American woman derby trainer. The Y in my name stands for Young Helpful Person. I quit school at 17 to help groom and exercise horses at a stable. The L in my name stands for Loyal. I always was supportive of my many siblings. The V in my name stands for Valiant. I always showed determination and courage when I was working with horses. The I in my name stands for Impressive. I worked in my late years and my last one was in 2000. The A in my name stands for Accountable. I always got my work done, and then after I finished my schoolwork, I would work at Charlestown Racetrack. I feel like my impact was especially important because not only was I the first African American derby trainer, I was also the first African American woman derby trainer. What made me pick the job that I did was when I was 2 years old, I went for a pony ride that told me I want to work with horses. History might have been different if I wasn't born because African American girls might have thought they don't deserve to win or the reward of winning.
Sylvia R. Bishop reminded me that even if things are hard, keep trying and follow your dreams. She showed me this because she broke down barriers. She owned her winnings and didn't care what people said about her not being worthy of winning. She showed me to keep following your dreams, and even if there's people stopping you from, keep trying.
Hi, I'm Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson, the magic guy. I am remembered because of winning the games, being a famous basketball player, being the CEO of the Magic Foundation, and for donating. Lesson learned. The lesson learned from him is that you should never give up on your dreams, and that if you try hard enough, you can achieve. He was famous at school and all around the world because he tried hard and never gave up. He now is the CEO of the Magic Foundation, was a famous and professional basketball player, and is still famous all around the world. I feel like if he ever gave up and didn't try hard enough, he would have never been where he is now.
My name is Sarah Elizabeth Good. I was determined, imaginative, and smart. Here are 5 top facts about me. I was the first African American woman to get a U.S. patent. I made a bed that folds and looks like a desk. I was the first woman to own a furniture store. I was famous as an inventor. I made a bed that was easy to lift. Sarah Elizabeth Good. Glad I was able to make a bed that was easy to lift. On July 14th, 1885, I got a U.S. patent. On 1880, I was married to Archibald Good. During my marriage with Archibald Good, we opened a furniture store. Earlier in my years, my life was harsh. I will be remembered for my hideaway bed. I will also be remembered as the first African American woman to get a U.S. patent. The lesson I learned from Sarah Elizabeth Good was it does not matter if you are a boy or a girl. You can do the same things as everyone else.
I'm Rebecca Lee Davis Crumpler. I was the woman who impacted medicine. I was born February 8, 1831, and died March 9, 1895. Here are 5 facts about me. I changed the way people see medicine. I wrote a book based on all my college notes. I became the first African American doctor. My aunt is who inspired me to become a doctor, and I helped take care of the soldiers in the war. Here is a poem I wrote about Rebecca Lee Crumpler. She is respectful to others. She's very effective to the community. She's brave for being able to complete medical school. She encourages others to work hard. She's creative when it comes to writing books. She's caring to all of her patients, and she's ambitious to work hard. How I impacted society. I impacted the community when I challenged the school board about how African Americans can't be doctors. I studied hard and long to pass my class. When I became a doctor, there are many people that didn't accept me. When I wrote my book, I helped many other African Americans become doctors for medicine. I will always be remembered as the woman who impacted medicine. The lesson I learned. The lesson I learned is that if you try hard enough, then you can accomplish anything. I think this because when I was doing research, I discovered how hard she worked to get to where she was. I found it very interesting and fascinating. It showed me that even during your struggles, it will all be worth it in the end.
I am Alexa Kennedy. I was the first female African American neurosurgeon.
In 1976, I became the first female African American neurosurgeon respected in the United States. In 1981, I became the first female African American neurosurgeon in the United States. In 1984, I became the first female African American to be certified by the American Board by Neurosurgery. I became chief of neurosurgery at Children's Hospitals in Michigan. When I was chief of neurosurgery, my department was viewed as the best in the country. Alexa is awesome, loving, excellent, Xena, and active. I will be remembered as the first female African American to become a neurosurgeon and a chief at children's hospitals. Alexa has impacted my life because she wanted people to believe that they can do what they want to do. This is one of Alexa's quotes. The greatest challenge I faced in becoming a neurosurgeon was believing it was possible. This makes me feel that I can do anything that I want to. Hi, this is a presentation of Ray Charles. At a very young age, Ray Charles lost his eyesight, but didn't give up and learned to see with his ears. He was also an inspiration to the birth of soul music and also one of the first to rebel against Jim Crow laws. Ray Charles died at the age of 77.
Hi, my name is Louis Armstrong, Black African American trumpeter, composer, vocalist, and actor. 5 things that happened in my life. First, a Jewish immigrant family helped me buy my first horn. Second, I first received musical training during a stint juvenile detention. Third, my wife helped me jumpstart my solo career. Fourth, my playing style took a heavy toll on my lips. Fifth, at age 52, I surpassed the Beatles at top of the pop charts. The L in my name stands for loyal to my family and fans. The O stands for outstanding achievements in my life. The U stands for unique nicknames and vocals. The I stands for inspiring to kids and others. The S stands for I played smooth jazz. 30 years after my death, my work as an instrumentalist and vocalist continued to have a profound impact on American music. As a black man living and working in segregated society, I symbolize the civil rights struggle that was part of the changing America in which I lived. I will be remembered throughout history because I expanded my horizons into various genres of music such as Dixieland, swing, and traditional pop. Fun facts about me. First, my favorite foods are Chinese food, spaghetti, hamburgers, Louisiana caviar, and fried chicken. Second, my favorite color is red. Third, when I was a boy, I used to watch the local musicians. Fourth, I liked the horn when I was little. Fifth, my nicknames are Satch, Satchmo, and Ambassador Satch.
Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson Top 5. I'm an American singer, songwriter, actress, and dancer. I was on a comedy series called Good Times when I was 11 years old. I was born on May 16, 1966 in Gary, Indiana. I won 6 Grammy Awards and was nominated for 24 of them. I won 11 American Music Awards and was nominated for 35. I also won 34 Billboard Music Awards and was nominated for 40. I have donated to many charities that include AIDS Life, Feeding America, NAACP, Red Cross, and many more. June 2015 World Tour called No Sleep. Award-winning recording artist and actress. Control, Rhythm Nation, 1814, and Janet went multi-platinum. Catherine Esther and Joseph Jackson are my parents. Starred in Poetic Justice with co-starring rapper Tupac Shakur, one of the best-selling artists. Nominated for 40 Billboard Music Awards, won 34. Learned. Through my research of Janet Jackson, I learned to never give up. Even when Janet Jackson faced hard times in her career, when she struggled with self-esteem, she still pushed in order to achieve her goals. I also learned to follow your dreams because even if someone tells you you can't do something, that shouldn't make you stop following your dreams. If Janet Jackson stopped following her dreams, she wouldn't have achieved being a very talented singer, songwriter, actress, and dancer. She's also a role model for so many young women.
This is my PowerPoint presentation for the Wax Museum project. I picked Will Smith. His nickname is the Fresh Prince. My most important moments. I started my career in high school as a musician. I won many awards and most of them are Grammy Awards. 3. I donated to charity to give back to underprivileged people and their families. Number 4. I enjoy spending time with my family, which includes my 3 children and my wife. Number 5. I have acted in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Spies in Disguise, and Aladdin, some of my most popular shows and movies. Number 3. Acrostic Poem. Some of the movies I act in are the ones I produce. Movies are what I act in mostly. I have a net worth of $350 million. T. The most powerful actor in Hollywood is what the magazine Newsweek calls me. And H has many awards. Slide 4. How I will be remembered. I think Will Smith will be remembered as a boy who reached his goals by doing what he loved. I think he will also be remembered as someone who donated a lot to help underprivileged people and their families. Another way I will be remembered is someone who introduced a new kind of rap. Slide 5. Lessons learned. I think Will Smith has accomplished a lot. The first lesson that I learned from him is that you will reach your goals by doing what you love. If you do something you don't love, then it will be harder for you. The second lesson I learned is that you can help people by giving to charity.
Oprah Winfrey's life, model, TV star, and a role model. Oprah Winfrey's top 5. My name was supposed to be Oprah from the Bible. My childhood nickname was a preacher because she could recite Bible verses. My family was poor growing up that as a child I was teased for wearing dresses made of potato sacks.
I won a beauty pageant at age 17. I have a successful career on radio and TV that led to several awards, including Best Picture. I was the first African American female billionaire. Oprah Winfrey. W. Was successful despite hardships. I. Inspiring to women. N. Never gave up on chasing her dreams. F. Figures out how to overcome problems. R. Ready for anything. E. Encouraging and entertaining. Y. Years of radio broadcasting led to a TV career. I will be remembered. I will be remembered for being a philanthropist TV mogul. I am also the first female black billionaire. I will also be remembered for having my own network for TV. Lesson learned. My lesson learned from Oprah Winfrey is that to never give up on your dreams and encourage others to do the same. Also to not be a follower and to be a good influence to others. She taught me to speak up for others and follow my dreams. She taught me to never judge a book by its cover and not to be a bully, but to be a friend. I believe this is true because for her being a talk show host, she's very inspiring and responsible and a good influence for having her own network, book club, radio, and TV show.